And I don't like his release, so stop talking about it.
I didn't say it once, but since you brought it up, I'm going to average heaps more than him. Yeah, at that price? Who? At that price, who? At that price.
No.
At that price. At that price. No one. Good. Matty for the
Too late.
Whoa!
Too high. Too high.
I keep on asking me if Tom McConnell's going to be the ruckman. It's not.
Not yet. Not yet anyway.
Not even. He's not the best ruckman in
I
cup.
want to see kidneys and chesters. I want to see these.
You're not going to be seeing much of chest, aren't you?
Oh, Francis. I just got concussed. I just got concussed.
Doesn't care.
Tom Mitchell doesn't just tug on the ball. Thomas kicks the winning goal and he got 140. Vice captain right now.
Welcome back to SuperCoach Masters, first video of 2024, and we're starting it off good. I say we, but there is no Matty, and there probably won't be Matty for a bit of time. He's had kids, he's got 2 of them now, so we'll push on anyway. Condolences, champ. We are going to get straight into what 2024 SuperCoach is going to look like, because already, look at this absolute shit show. The AFL has dropped right in our lap, an absolute pile of steamy poo. And they're saying we're going to have all these teams not playing round 0, and SuperCoach is like, yeah, fuck it, we'll start round 1. And I'm excited because it means we're going to have to be a lot different. So for those of you who don't know, we're starting round 1. The teams are going to play round 0, and you can change your team at will. You can pretty much pick your team after round 0. So you can play with your team picker, and everyone's team's going to look completely different, and they're going to be swapping, mix and matching up until this first round 0 is played, and when Sydney and all these other teams, Richmond, Melbourne, Carlton, all them teams play, and then when the Took-Millers get 150, or Nick Dacos gets a 70, everyone's team's going to look completely different. But we will play with the team picker, but I want to talk about these buys because there is a huge advantage, whether you're paying for league or whether you're going to be playing for overall rank. There is such an advantage with picking certain players on these buys only. And out of these buys, it's not just cut and paste, the one buy is all the same. It's not. There is different kind of tiers of how good each buy is. And I've kind of done a little bit of a graph for you guys, which, I've actually done for myself, but I thought I'd share it with you guys as well, which is going to be really helpful when picking your team. So let's get that one up for you. Here we go. So we've got a bit of an A plus B, C, D, and F kind of buy structure, because A plus, one buy only with one other team. So the whole year, if you pick any Port or Freo players, they're only going to have the one buy for the entire year, and they're only going to be against each other. So best 18 for that round. This is the absolute best buy. If you like any of these players, jump on. As opposed to if you go down to the F buys, where Carlton, Richmond, Suns, Collingwood, Melbourne are 2 buys. One is with one other team, and one is with 5 other teams. So for example, if you like a Butters as opposed to a Petrarca, right? So you're going to have Petrarca missing two times during the year for your team, and one of those times is going to be with 5 other teams. And if you get a Butters, you're just going to be missing one buy with one other team, and it's best 18 in that week as well. So let's get through it, man. North Melbourne B, they've got one bye with 3 other teams. So they only have the one bye as well, but they only have 3 other teams on their bye, which is, I believe, round 12. And they'll be with GWS, Sydney, and I think the Lions. So if you like any of these players from Port and Freo, jump on them straight away. And the next point of call, you should be looking at North. Okay? Because North has got a really friendly bye. If you like LDU, get him. It's a bit much for me personally, but if he's one of the premiums you're kind of in an R and about, more reason to pick him. Now we go to grade C. One bye with 5 other teams. So we've got Adelaide, Essendon, and Geelong, Hawks, Saints, West Coast, and the Doggies. One bye only, but their one bye is with 5 other teams. So it's going to be a little bit harder to navigate for that bye. But as I said, they're only missing once during the year. So if you can manage that, they'll be fine. So the drop between C and D is a little bit more substantial. So Lions, GWS, and Sydney, they do have 2 buys. So you will be missing, say, a Lachie Neale, or Tom Green, or your Grundy twice a year. However, one time is with only one other team, and one time is with 3 other teams. So if you can cover that, probably not the worst options. I'd rather these guys personally, as much as you can. It's more matters for your premiums, not so much with your rookies. They'll be on the bench or making money or even cold before their second buy as it is. So I wouldn't be too worried about rookies and mid-prices. I'm more so for your premiums. Now this one's probably the worst, absolute worst buy. 2 buys, one with one other team and one with 5 other teams. So these are going to be the hardest ones to kind of cover throughout the year. So if you think about your overall rank, you're going to have your Dacos missing 2 weeks, right? As opposed to Sicily, who's just missing 1. As even if you go to Luke Ryan and Houston, they'll be just missing 1 time and with, one other team on that bye. So you'll be able to cover that quite easy. Nick Dacos, if he's missing with 5 other teams and another time during the year, you think you do have your best 18, but you know that your rookies are not going to be scoring as good as your premium. So these are the buys that I am trying to avoid, keyword, but some players at some prices just need to be picked, and we'll go into that soon. But if you're looking at your Matty Rails as opposed to your LDUs and these guys, the drop between C and D is quite substantial. So these teams and above I'd be aiming for personally. How big is it going to be in 2004? I don't really know. You're going to have your best 18, but as I said, even if you're playing just for your league, for a league wins, and you don't care about overall, if you think about it, you're going to be having your premiums more often than players with Petrarca, Oliver, Rao, Anderson, Taranto, Walshy, Cripps. So huge advantage if you get your premiums on the field more often. So personally, I'm going to try and stick to this structure as best I can. And each of their own, but this is just where I'm coming from. Me and Matty have had several chats on the phone, about 3 times a day. He was very hesitant about my little, he's like, it doesn't really matter, best 18. But I think he's coming around. I think he sees the other side. And we'll get into the team picker real soon, guys. But let's just get into the AFL's official rules, what they said. So as it says, round 1, not in the opening round. And that's going to cause all kinds of chaos. Every person in your team that you think you're going to start, you're going to be picking all the rookies that do good. Maybe you're picking all the mid-prices. If Took Miller gets 150, you might be chucking him in. So it's going to be absolute chaos after round 0 or opening round. And as you know, the opening stats will be taken into account for price rises and such. So that's why it will cause so much havoc. Best 18 for every buy round, including the 2-team buy rounds. So I think it's going to be very important to your structures, especially if, I should say, no donuts, no floating loopholes in anyone's teams. There are so many buys that you're going to have players on that you can use as loopholes. Get your money making premiums in. No 102K players that are not going to play. Just get some players that are going to make some cash. And not any changes, they'll let us know. Fun time. So let's get into the team picker. Now, as much as Nick Dacos preseason was an absolute lock, the AFL has shat all over the place and made Nick Dacos on the absolute worst buy. So at the moment, I'm not picking him. Do you think Nick Dacos can outscore Sicily with 1 extra game? If you think so, pick him. But for me, big sick dog, coming in strong. Now, Tommy Stewart. God, he really wrecked my season last year, but goodbye. I mean, we have him on the C. He's only got the 1 buy, so he's in. Same with Sicily. Not going to pick Luke Ryan. What an absolute year he had. I think Sinclair's looking pretty good. Again, he's on that 1 buy only kind of thing, so absolute lock. And another one, Harry Sheasel. I really like him. I know he's a second-year player. North Melbourne's backline, I still suspect the ball will be down at North's backline heaps. No Zeeble. He's almost the general down there. And need I remind you about the friendly buy North Melbourne players have. So that is why Sheasel is in my team at the moment. I have gone past Luke Ryan. I don't think he can do it again. I'm not completely in love with Houston despite their absolute amazing buy. So I think 4 premiums is more than enough. Some people are going to say it's way too much, but I don't really care. So a lot of people are plonking in that injury-prone Zach Williams. Look, we're going to have the benefit of seeing Zach Williams play round 0 if he's fit. I'll change my team then if he plays then and scores well, it's not sub. But until then, I'll go for Heath Chapman. He's got the great bye, and I think he'll slide in Hayden Young's position, and Hayden Young's going to go into the midfield. So I am missing Hayden Young from here. I've decided to go with these three, but he's in contention. This is no way going to be my last team for the year. And I think we're just going to plonk the rest with some rookies. Doesn't really matter at the moment. We'll go Marty Hoare, and heard some stuff about this guy. Maybe not. And where's Caulfield? Nick Caulfield. So that's the kind of structure I'm leaning towards the back line. That's probably what I'm happiest the most. Zach Williams can come into it. I don't think it's going to matter too much with his buy because he's going to make some money to get out of it if he is indeed fit. All right, guys, let's get into the mids. Well, I'm going to, straight out honest, I don't like any of the midfielders, the premium midfielders. So I'm going to go straight for the overpriced Bond. 724,000 has the one and only kind of buy on the C grade, I believe he is. And one buy, and I'll just manage him during that big buy round with the 5 other teams. So I'm more happy to do that with these guys than play around with these ones. So if I can manage my team with mostly these guys, I think I'm going to be in an okay position going in. Next premium, I'm going to have to start putting Zach Butters in here. The best buy. He's only going to have it with Fremantle. Young kid, getting better. He had an absolute blistering last year. Horrible price. I hate him. If I was either him or Tom Green and they had the same buy, I'll be picking Tom Green every day of the week. Still tempted to pick Tom Green, but I'm going to give him a miss and jump in with Sarong and Andy Brayshaw. As I said, they've got that really good buy. I can cover them for 1 week during the year, and it's only when they are not playing each other. And I have my best 18. Then the rest, I'm pretty much going to have a full team. So I'm going to go with these 4 premiums. And I think I better start saving some money for the rest of this. Oh, the forward line, don't even get me started. So kind of 4 premiums, maybe 4.5. Go for a Cam Guthrie. He's got a pretty good buy. Only he's got 1 buy. Matt Crouch done a lot of good things as well with 1 buy. So there's also Merritt. I don't mind people picking Merritt. For me, I think he got a lot of his points last year when the game was up for grabs. He done some big tackles. He done some big setting up goals, and he really elevated a lot of his SuperCoach points. He's a bit much for me. Rory Laird's been on a bit of a decline, and I'm probably not going to touch either of these guys. But the good buy, I wouldn't mind. If you like Laird, if you like Merritt, pick them. I see a lot of teams playing with Dawson. Probably not for me. Yeah, I'd rather go Laird than Dawson at this stage. And LDU, good pick. Only played 14 games and still managed a really good score. So I'm really interested in LDU, but I got these boys ahead of him at this stage. So really would love Tom Green. I think he's going to be a superstar. So I really want to choose him. Hopefully I can grab him after his bye. After round 12, then he can be my primo upgrade for these kind of things. Maybe I'm looking a bit too far ahead in this, but maybe not. So obviously Tom Green will have that buy against Gold Coast as well. You might be thinking, I don't have any other GWS players, I don't have any Gold Coast, so I can cover him. But yes, you'll be covering with a rookie. That's why we're doing. We just want to maximize the amount of money that we're having on the field at each time. Just give us the best chance to kind of get the overall or get the league wins. So I'm just going to plonk some rookies in my last 4 positions in the midfield and see how that leads. Because Sanders, I heard some good things about him. Matty keeps on talking about Curtin. We'll see how it goes. And yeah, a bunch of superstars. Jake Rogers. Yeah, puts Sharp in. He's due for a good year. And some Geelong guy that was pretty good. Here he is. Yeah, so we're just going to plonk some rookies. This is all going to be subject to changes. That's more of a structure for your midfielders and, your premium, sorry. And, yeah, these boys are just ready to go. Okay, so let's get to the rucks, how my rucks are kind of looking. Let's get Sin off the field because that looks disgusting. Oh, that all looks disgusting. Let's get the rucks. Has the bad buy, but Brodie Grundy for that price, 481, and I think he's probably in the best 5 ruckman. Yeah, he's got 2 buys, but I think he might be worth it. If we have a look here, he doesn't have the absolute worst buy, but easier to cover. But I still think he's going to be worth it, guys. Could be wrong. Wouldn't be opposed if someone went for Marshall and English kind of combination. They both have only 1 buy. Kieran Briggs is an interesting one to see who wants to cough out that much money for him and has 2 buys. Not choosing any of those. No injury prone Sean Darcy's. Max Gawn. It's either got to be Gawn or English for me, guys. English only has the 1 buy. Gawn, about maybe 130k cheaper. Without Grundy, we're scoring some absolute crazy numbers. So I can't go past Gawn, even though he's playing 1 less game than English for your SuperCoach team. 130k or an extra game. You kind of got to weigh up the pros and cons. For me, I think Max Gawn I literally had Tim English in my team before today, so that can keep on swapping. Tim English and Marshall probably no buys. Sean Darcy 2 injury prone. And let's get into, let me just choose a rookie. Sweet's pretty good at that price. Is he be a first ruckman? Probably not, but let's put in Krugs. All right, so we got 2 mil for the forward line, and I don't think that's going to be quite enough to get anyone we like. And look at this. Luke Jackson scored most of his good numbers when Sean Darcy was on the field. If you're paying this much for him, even though he's dual position, amazing. Wouldn't be paying it if Sean Darcy's fit. I don't think he's going to be scoring good. Jack McRae averaged, I think, maybe 60 or 70 in his last 3 games of the year, which is very concerning. He's only got 1 buy, and all these guys, 2 buys. 2 buys. Showbolton, Kerno, Dusty, 2 buys. Kleb Daniel, not too bad. He had a really good middle patch of 2023, but then they put him forward, they put him back, and he just no good. Dylan Moore. Flanders is another really interesting pick. We have the benefit of watching Flanders round 0, seeing how he goes, seeing his role before putting him in your team. But for me, guys, again, 2 buys. 2 times I'm going to be missing a Flanders in my team that I have to cover him in the forward line. No, thank you. Unless he gets 160 and his role is amazing. But so if we're going to go for our first, Bailey Smith would have been an amazing pick. Only 1 buy, dual position. But we're going to go for Taylor Adams. 2 buys, 437k. You have to remember in Collingwood, with Tom Mitchell arriving and Dacos going into the midfield, his midfield role he demolished. It was just when he went forward and he was more of a half forward, sometimes in the mid. Check your CBAs. I think with Grundy, they're really good mates. Grundy in the midfield and Callum Mills being out, I think he can do good. He is injury prone, but he did put 22 games together last year, so he's an interesting one. And without a lack of better people, I think he's going to be my first premium forward line player. No way known is he a lock, but we'll keep him until further notice, guys. God, this is horrible. Zach Fisher, role dependent, but if he's in the back line with Sheasel, got the good buy, I think Zach Fisher might be a pretty good pick. If he's on the back line, wing, half forward, he has to go. So now we're getting real slim pickings, guys. We're just trying to fit holes and get everyone else in the team that we like. So if you ever think you have a winning forward line, please show me, because I have not seen one thus far. One's with Flanders and McRae. Yeah, not doing it for me, and everyone else has 2 buys. So there's literally no other premiums that I feel comfortable picking. Now, where is Harmsy? Because I think Harmsy, not only does he have a good buy, midfield time, dual position. He was not a bad scorer at Melbourne when he got the minutes in there. With Bailey Smith out, maybe he gets more midfield rotation. So we'll see how that goes. Only the 1 buy, I don't mind it. James Jordan. It's another one, dual position, obviously traded from Melbourne. I think Mills leaves a lot of holes for either Taylor Adams or James Jordan, maybe a bit of both. I think they obviously rate him, so maybe they're going to play James Jordan in the midfield. Maybe not. But that price, dual position, same with Taylor Adams. You could probably afford to get James Jordan, get rid of him before his first buy, once he's made money, if he makes money, if he's a decent pick. But yeah, how much money do we have left? Let's chuck a... No way, no one is this a lock. This is just now rookies, guys. So we'll get some Zane Dursmers in there. Ugh. And her Darcy. Where's Darcy? Darcy from the Doggies? He's somewhere. He is somewhere. Oh, Baku Comes is just as good, I heard. And there. Ugh, yeah, not looking good, but I have not seen a team that has had a really good forward line. So you're gonna whatever. 309k. Oh, that's a little bit more than I thought. So another mid-pricer that you can look at in the forward line is Jack Billings, and see where he gets you. But look, so for the most part, it's going to look something, well, nothing like this really. You just got to really plug the forward line until some good options come. Maybe Tatsis. I've heard good things from the Bombers about his preseason dual position. He's looking good. I heard stuff about Elijah Hewitt in the midfield, West Coast, that he's going to have a good year. There's also, Tom Lynch as well, 287k. I heard he's still in a moon boot. Will he be fit for round 1? Well, we got the benefit of seeing round 0. We can see him play round 0. If he gets a good number, we can always add him in. So a lot of people might be tempted by 5, but if you were tempted last year, just remember you played 9 games and averaged you 50. So it does have the good buy though. So this is kind of what I'm leaning towards, guys. Everyone in my team pretty much that's a premium only has 1 buy except Grundy and Gawn. Grundy, absolutely exceptional price. Gawn, I believe he's worth a lot more. I reckon he's worth a Tim English price without Grundy in the team. They don't really have another kind of backup ruckman like any of the other teams. So I reckon Gawn's going to be doing a lot of ruck work, and I think he's going to go maybe back up to that 700k price. And for 130k, I'm willing to go English to Gawn. Could change though. So a couple of other people I've been considering was Hayden Young. Rosie. I mean, I'm really not in love with these Port Adelaide guys, but I rather Brayshaw playing twice than a Petrarca playing once. So, and with your Josh Sins coming in. So please ignore the rookies. I'd love to hear what you guys are playing with. Do please have a look at the buys and do try and keep to a structure like this. If you can load your team up with these guys, just remember it is for the 1 game, and as long as you can get your best 18 on the field, the rest of your team will be absolutely fine. So it does hurt not getting Nick Dacos and Petrarca. I was heavily leaning towards them, even Walsh and Took Miller. But yeah, look, I'm going to just go with my gut on this and see how the 1 buy only treats my team, and see how we go. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you are doing a similar structure, or you already thought about this, or you haven't thought about this, but you're going to do some tinkering. SuperCoach Masters Beanie. Message me on Facebook if you want one. And hopefully we get some Maddie on the podcast, because Maddie's really busy. So we'll see how we go, guys. Enjoy your tinkering for 2024. Thanks for tuning in for the first video. It's going to be really interesting to see how much the teams change after round 0, and how much all these players, like the Suns players as a scoring, and Nick Dacos and all these guys. Have a good summer. It's been really shit weather down here in Melbourne, and catch ya.